Some kind of fever coming on. Try to turn my head, hold my breath till it's gone. But I'm getting weaker with your hands up on my skin. Try to keep my cool, but it's hard to do when you're leaning in. I always tell myself I won't. Then I feel it. Yeah, I feel it. Oh, I feel it. Yeah, I feel it. Some kind of nervous going on.
Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I wanted to do a little coffee talk with you guys. I've got my actually empty now because I drank it while I was writing out the things that I kind of wanted to talk about in today's video, but settle on in. First of all, this is going to be the last coffee talk before Youtober, which is insane. I got sick for a while, so I kind of fell a bit behind, but I've been filming a lot of coffee talks that you guys haven't even seen yet. So this just feels like normal to me right now. Like I feel very in the coffee talk zone, which by the way, if you guys haven't heard them already, I have a coffee talk podcast up on Castbox. I will pop a link down below. But something that I wanted to talk about is how to basically slay the rest of 2018. Now that we're getting towards the end of the year, we're easing into that last quarter, and it's one of those times of the year that things really tend to pick up for me work-wise with Youtober, and ever since I threw like co's and podcasts, now currently writing Chapter 2, still working on Dancing with Elephants, it's just been a lot. Instead of getting stressed out, I try and just get excited about getting back on the A game. Priming my mindset, priming my whole entire plan, setting new foundations and new goals to make sure that I'm ending the year strong. I feel like 2018 is probably one of my favorite years ever. I want to end it as my favorite year too. Or if you've just had a crappy 2018 and you don't want to let it defeat you and you just want to pick up the slack and feel good going into 2019, then I mean, this video is going to work for all of us. So settle on in, tea, coffee, water, whiskey, and let's get to it, shall we? So if you guys have been listening to my Coffee Talk podcasts, I recently put out an episode that was how to pick up your own slack part 1. And something that I talked about in that podcast was halftime. Halftime is this whole concept that I recently came up with that kind of just gives me a chance to just take a break, take a halftime in the middle of the game to just breathe for a second before going back and slaying the second half. So halftime is called halftime because one, I was at the Drake concert and it was right around then that I came up with this concept, and halfway through his show he did like a halftime where he pulled up like a basketball court and it was epic as hell. That mixed with just in general the 4 words that kind of came together to make what prepping my mindset was ended up spelling out HAFF. So that's where it came from. H being honesty, A being acceptance, F being forgiveness, and the second F being focus. Starting with honesty, I feel like first and foremost, we need to be honest with where we're at. How was 2018? I'll type all this out into a blog post or something and leave it down below, but truly, be honest. How was your 2018? I feel like I always say this, but super challenging. Every year tends to be, but it was also super rewarding and super fun and just probably one of my favorite years ever. There's things I could choose to stress about or choose to like brew about, but instead I'm choosing to think about all the good stuff that's happened this year. And based on that, I feel like this year has been absolutely insane. And so 2018 for me has been a good year. And then the second part being acceptance is no matter how you feel like your year has gone, you kind of have to accept exactly where it's led. Everything that has gone on in 2018 has led me to this exact moment. Even just the other day, I was like sick and just in such a miserable mood, feeling all crummy because I wasn't getting the things done that I needed to. And the acceptance thing is something that has really been looping through my mind where it's almost just like not resisting, Whether you had a good year or a bad year, you have to accept exactly where you are right at this moment, watching this video, all the circumstances surrounding your life so that you're no longer resisting where 2018 has brought you, whether it is good or bad. I mean, resistance can also have an opposite effect. I think I have such a fear of crashing and burning the rest of this year because I feel like it's been such a good year. And that in itself is resistance. Or maybe you're the flip side. Maybe you've had such a crappy year that you're resisting exactly where you are right now because you feel like it's not fair. Either or, whether you think it's fair or not, or whether you're acting out of fear or faith, you just need to accept exactly where you you are with no judgments, whether it be good or bad. Don't label it, just accept it. Just be like, this is where we're at. This is the foundation in which I'm about to build on or finish icing the cake with. Whatever, depends on how your year went. Following that up with forgiveness, this is more of like an internal thing, because I feel like not only do we need to forgive this year for where it brought us, or forgive the lower parts of this year, because no matter how great your year was, everybody had some crappier parts of the year. Those little pockets of time, I need to not only forgive the year for bringing those pockets of time to me, but I also just need to like forgive myself for any mistakes I made or any bad or poor decisions or judgments I made going through those times, because if you don't forgive yourself for doing those things, you're never going to be able to see the blessings that those mistakes or bad or harder times maybe brought you. And if you're going to use the tools that you've gained or learned this year, then you're going to need to forgive yourself first so that you're able to see past the crappy feeling or the heavy weight of, oh, I suck, or oh, this year sucks. Instead, use the tools of all the suckiness to your advantage. Focus is the fun part, because once you've gone through the honesty, acceptance, and forgiveness, you're just like completely slate clean. You have a full new page to just start fresh, and you're able to just completely be like, okay, nothing's weighing me down anymore, nothing's holding me back anymore, and I'm just ready to focus on what I can do with the rest of this year rather than what I can't do with all the year that's already been written. Basically, focusing on what you're gonna do to end your year strong, or keep the pace you're already going if you feel like you're having a really good year. And then this is where your life gets kind of fun again. This is where the gisting comes in. This is where we pull out our calendars and our dream boards and our iPhone notes, and we make plans. Like, we make to-do lists, we make checklists, and we have fun. We get highlighters, we get post-it notes. I mean, maybe this is all just me, but this is where I like to get fun with life. Anytime I feel like I've either come out of a rut, or I'm just all of a sudden in a mood where I'm like, yes, I'm ready to just slay something, and this topic being the end of 2018, this is where I'm like, okay, well, instead of putting the pressure and the stress on myself, why not make it fun by coming up with like inspiration and motivational plans to actually slay the rest of the year. Go into it with a good mentality and a positive attitude. Odds are it'll be better than if you go into it thinking like, I have to do this, or this is gonna suck, We need to go into it thinking like, yes, I am excited, I am ready, and maybe making it fun for you is different. Whatever it is that you decide you're gonna plan to do, make the focus part fun. We're all already stressed enough. The last thing we need is more stress. In terms of places that you can kind of check in on, I wrote out a few, so I will read them out to you, because this is like where I tried to just check in on how I've been. The first one was budgeting. That was something that I told myself I really wanted to hammer down on this year, and I did a terrible job. Like, that is one of the places I definitely need to pick up the slack and slay with for the end of 2018, solely because I traveled so much this year. I feel like all of the savings that I planned on having is non-existent. That's okay. Accepted it. I've forgiven myself, and now I'm just gonna focus on how much I can save before the end of 2018. Maybe it's not gonna be as much as I had planned at the beginning of the year, but I also didn't plan on making so many life experiences at the beginning of the year with all of the travel plans that ended up popping up and being probably some of the best decisions I've ever made. So, yin and yang. Fitness and exercise, which is something that I actually have felt really good about this year. I feel like I've stuck to an actual routine for the first time in my life without any stagnant moments. Aside from when I took out my knee at the beginning of the year, I was out for about 6-7 weeks of running. I still kept up with my yoga, I still kept with a bit of strength training, and now I'm right back into the love of running. There's a big passion I have right now for running, and a big passion that's burning back up again for yoga, and it feels good. So for me, instead of feeling like I need to do a whole new fitness routine, I want to know how I can end strong. And I feel like the best way to do this is to start throwing in some variety. If you feel like you've been doing a good job, the way that we start falling out of routines and good habits is when things start to become stale. So I'm gonna throw some variety in my yoga and throw some variety in my runs by taking a different route, trying different music for yoga, trying yoga at a different time of the day, just little things like that to keep it fun and keep it strong for the rest of the year. If you feel like you need to really check into the exercise and fitness, or you haven't been on your A game, you could slay the rest of the year by coming up with a new fitness routine. Just be easy on yourself, because if you're coming out of just like not working out at all, don't be like, okay, I'm gonna hit the gym 6 days a week, twice a day, because you're just gonna burn yourself out. Just think baby steps. I'm gonna start running twice a week, or I'm gonna start going to the gym every other day. Just something subtle, 20 minutes, and even that little baby step is going to make you feel so much further along by the time January 1st rolls around than if you're like burning yourself out. You tried to get into a fitness routine, but you went too hard, too fast. It just like soaks up way more of your energy, you know? Just, we have to be easy on ourselves. And I say this because I do this. Like when I'm like, oh my God, I did not budget at all, I'm like, okay, I can't spend any money at all. Like not gonna spend $1 here, $2 there, where it's like, you know what? No, I still need to be able to spend a little bit, but I can also just put a little bit away. Baby steps. Physical health, meaning more so, you know, nutrition. Did you cook a lot at home? Were you eating a lot of whole foods? Were you eating a healthier diet than usual? Or were you not? Even just things like going to the dentist and stuff. I realized that it's been a while since I've gone to the dentist. I need to just get on top of all of the physicalities of being healthy, you know, just our physical bodies and making sure we're taking care of them. This can even just be getting a new haircut or trying a different tanner or getting your nails done. Anything that's gonna make you feel like physically you're taking care of your health, both internally and externally. Which leads me into mental health, and this is just like exercise for the brain. I feel like at the beginning of the year I was super into meditation, and I still am. I try and meditate as much as possible, but lately I've been trying to be more aware of the different things that help me relax mentally other than meditation, so that meditation doesn't have all this pressure to do it every day. Sometimes when I whip up my guitar and I just play a couple songs and sing, I just feel more calm. Sometimes it's journaling, sometimes it's pulling tarot cards. Even sometimes yoga fits into here, like exercising my brain, doing puzzles, reading books. Any kind of hobby or like meditative state of mind, that to me is checking in on your mental health. Signed up for volleyball, having stepped outside of my comfort zone, being around all these people playing volleyball, just having fun in the sand at night outside. And afterwards, I'm always in the best mood. And that to me is taking care of my mental health. It's all cohesive. Life goals as well. Like, have you checked in on where your goals were at the beginning of 2018? I'm gonna go check mine. Do I have it on here? I think I posted it to my blog. My 2018 resolutions, here we go. So 1, travel. Something I did. I did Hawaii, I did go to Vancouver, I didn't go to Israel, I didn't go to Italy, I didn't go to Greece, and I didn't go to Iceland. But that's okay, because I did go to North Carolina, Florida, Banff, and I still may have some trips planned for the end of the year. We'll see. But traveling was definitely something that I did this year. Number 2, publish a book. Get ready to dream. I literally just got goosebumps. I forgot I wrote that down. Catcher, oh my God. Okay. Number 3 says buy a condo. I didn't end up doing that, and that was like a decision I made in the middle of the year that I wanted to try out some more areas in Toronto first. But that's fine, because my new savings plan is basically going to feed into the fact that I now know exactly where and what I want to buy in Toronto, and it's going to cost me a lot. So like, I really need to start saving. So that's how I'm going to pick up my slack. Write something every day. I've been journaling sometimes twice a day, so that's pretty good. 5, become a yogi and meditate daily. I don't meditate daily, but I do yoga more than once a week, which is good. And I feel the flow and breathe it out. Damn, I was in a mood when I wrote this. 6 says create. Codes, books, music, photography, videos, blah, blah, blah. This is very generic, but I guess I did that. 7 says read 2 books every month. I've been on my A game with my 2018 book challenge on Goodreads. I need to definitely make sure I'm picking up my slack for the end of the year, because I haven't had as much time to read lately with YouTuber, but I want to still hold strong on that 2 books a month. But so far, so good. Number 8 said start a podcast. I did that. Number 9, make a difference. Maybe. There's time for that one. Continue building a personal foundation. Learning to love self and others unconditionally, trusting the universe and faith, priorities, feeling good and confident in your own skin, keep intentions pure and authentic, and stay light. I feel like that's always a work in progress, no? You just like, you never fully tick that one off the list. 2018's been a pretty good year, I guess. The biggest things that I'm going to try and focus on are adding variety into my fitness routine so that I don't fall off. Ever since I moved, I do have to say I have not been cooking at home as much. So just in general, like I've taken a couple weeks, and with all the travel this year, I ate a lot of like junk food and spent a lot of money on just food this year. So I guess that 1 goes into budgeting, but it also 2 goes into just like health. I want to get back into fresh, healthy bootables at home and all of that fun stuff. Budgeting to make sure that 1, I might not be able to hit my goal that I had set at the beginning of the year, but I will be able to have some savings tucked away and ready to go for buying that good old Toronto condo. And now I'm adding some new goals in, like writing Chapter 2 and just doing a good job in general with Youtober 2018, and even hosting a couple events. Like ever since Larissa and I moved in here, we've been talking about all the events that we want to host here. And once you know what you want to focus on, you have to come up with a plan. Obviously, I'm going to need to sit down and write out exactly how I plan on budgeting myself for the rest of 2018 so that I know roughly how much savings I actually realistically could have for budgeting, doing the health, the fitness, the whatever it is to slay the rest of 2018. We also need to just keep that realistic word inserted into every sentence so that we're being real with ourselves and not holding ourselves to some unattainable standard that's just going to make us feel crappy going into the next year. This is also just when I like to just check in with work, grabbing my calendar, sitting down and coming up with a plan for the next month even for work, and then kind of roughly, I love how I'm like sprinkling them, just roughly coming up with an idea of what I want to post for content for the rest of this year that is going to be fun to stick to and makes me feel inspired to create more content. Checking back in with priorities. This is something that I've talked to you guys about a lot, but coming up with a priority list I feel like is so important so that you know you're trying to all of a sudden throw 10 new things at yourself. You should always pick like the top 3 things to focus on so that if you at least get those top 3 things done by the end of the year, you're gonna feel good. And then everything else is just icing on the cake. It'll take a lot of the pressure off of yourself, and it's also gonna make you feel good. It's the baby steps thing, right? When you get just even one of those 3 things, it's gonna feel so good that you're gonna wanna do more. But if you're stepping back and looking at 10 things and not narrowing it down to at least 3 to focus on right away, then you're gonna feel so daunted and scared and fearful that you're not gonna even know how or where to start. Speaking from experience. Coming up with a work plan and a life plan. I feel like my work plan is always a little bit more structured, and my life plan is always a little bit more go with the flow, you know? Ebb, flow. Burning fire energy, water energy. And it's because I need that burning fire energy to stay fueled to go for work, but I also need that water creativity lifestyle type of plan to make sure that I'm feeling creative and I'm not feeling too rigid and structured. And so that has been a huge thing for me this year, is finding that balance, and I'm slowly starting to feel like I'm gaining traction balancing both. And then to tie it all up, if you guys want to slay the rest of 2018, start now. Just start right now. Like once you're done this video, what can you do that's going to put you one step closer to slaying the rest of this year or finishing strong for the rest of this year? I feel like this is also just something that we just so easily overlook, and we tend to procrastinate because we think, oh, I'll start next week, or you know what, screw it, I'll start October 1st, and then all of a sudden it's like, you know what, I'll start after Halloween, and then all of a sudden Christmas is here, and then it's January 1st, and you're like, well, there goes 2018. That was really morbid, I'm sorry. But just start now. As much as we can sit here and talk about prepping and planning and focusing and blah, 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 once you've gotten through the whole halftime, everything else is literally just a matter of what can you do in the present moment. One big thing that I've really learned this year, and I want to just like thank Eckhart Tolle for this, is that you can plan all you want, but nothing is ever relevant aside from what's actually happening in the present moment and what you can do with it. Plan, but then realize that you're spending your precious present time planning, and once things are planned, step away from it. Stop thinking so far ahead and just ask yourself, what can you do right now? Maybe all you can do right now is just smile at a stranger on your way to work. Maybe all you can do right now is not buy the $6 latte from Starbucks. Make your coffee at home. Maybe what you can do now is take this extra 30 minutes of time, and instead of laying in bed on your phone, get up and do a little bit of yoga for fun. And that little bit of momentum, the small steps, the small wins are what lead you to the big steps and the big wins. Don't think it's got to be like all this pressure where, okay, tomorrow I wake up and I'm a whole new person. Who you are is already pretty cool. I feel like that's something we all need to give ourselves credit for. Larissa and I were talking about this the other day because we were like, when we moved, we said we were gonna be brand new people. And I was like, maybe we don't need to be brand new people. Maybe we're already pretty cool, but we just need to be taking some baby steps to be even cooler. So if nobody's told you this yet, where you're at right now is already pretty damn sick, okay? 80, 90-year-old you would kill to wake up in the circumstances you're in right now, in the body you're in right now, at the age you're at right now, with the family you have right now, and the abilities and the opportunities you have right now, and just go hard. 80/90-year-old you is looking at you, slapping you all upside the face, telling you to stop being so damn mean to yourself and thinking that you need to just completely redo your whole life. Your life is fine the way it is, but it's okay to also want to progressively work to making it just a little bit better. Baby steps, small wins. Don't feel like you need to just completely reinvent or rebrand yourself like you're, I don't know, what is it, IHOB now. Just know that you're already pretty cool the way you are, but why not just take a couple little, just 3 little at least. Remember, top 3 priority steps to just being that much cooler before January 1st, 2019. It's crazy to me because I remember when this year started, I was so inspired by this year and I was so ready to just create some magic, and part of me feels like I just hit a button and opened my eyes, and I'm sitting here in a new apartment talking to you guys on how to crush the rest of this year. This year flew, but every year flies, and that's why you can only really focus on what you can do right now in this present moment and take the pressure off of everything else. And live it up as much as you possibly can, because with each year that goes by, we get older and we get more confused, but I think that that's the whole point. We're never supposed to reach perfection or reach our best, highest selves, because then there's no more growth. It's not about the destination, it's about the journey. Have fun with the journey the rest of this year rather than where you're gonna be before January 1st starts, and you'll find that when January 1st actually rolls around, you'll already be magnitudes better than where you thought you could have been. Amen. So that's it for today's coffee talk. I hope you guys enjoyed. It's still empty, but I'll cheers you anyway. If there's any actual coffee talk related, like Halloween/fall podcast episodes you guys want me to do, please leave a comment down below, because I'm taking in a couple topics for Youtober that I want to pre-record so that they're just ready to go up during October. And other than that, I love you guys to the stars and back. I hope you all are having a happy and healthy day, and I will see all of you guys. I don't know where I'm going to be after this, but I'll be somewhere, and hopefully I'll see you there. Bye guys.
But I'm getting weaker.
Okay, so first time trying to find out where I'm supposed to park.
Tried to keep my cool.